Kiss has been through a lot throughout the years. Adversity, lineup changes, the tragic death of their drummer, Eric Carr. One listen to Revenge, and it appears the boys are right back on track again. Joining us via satellite in Toronto is Paul Stanley and Eric Singer of Kiss. Welcome back to GRT.
Hey, Stu, how's it going?
How you doing, Stu?
I'm doing real well, thank you. Congratulations are in order for Revenge, the latest in a long line of Kiss albums. And man, talk about sounding like the Kiss of the old days. There's more power to this than anything you've done in the past couple of years. What brought it on?
We're real excited, obviously. You know, you reach a point when you kind of realize what kind of legacy you have and what your history is, and that really you have to live up to your finest moments. Otherwise, you're just kind of like living on your past. If what you're doing is just good or real good, it really doesn't say much for the present, because people are talking about something you did 10 years ago or your 5th album, and you're on your 15th album. So we decided that at this point, anything we were going to do had to be as good as our best, and whatever it was going to take. And it took a lot of work and a lot of time. That's what we were going to do. This was going to be a no-compromise, balls-out rock and roll album.
Paul, if I can ask, why wouldn't a balls-out rock and roll album be done earlier by Kiss?
You know, it's hard to say. Sometimes you may think you're doing what's expected, and in fact, you know, in retrospect, you go, you just didn't make the mark. I think we weren't as focused as we are now. Maybe we weren't as committed. We thought we were, but all of a sudden we realized what was missing. And it really feels almost like being reborn, and that, you know, has certain religious connotations to it. But the truth is, all of a sudden, we just realized that there's so much that Kiss has yet to do. And it's real exciting. I mean, the album's just a killer, and Eric's here, and he's a big part of it. Welcome to the fold, Eric.
Thank you.
You joined Kiss after the tragic death of Eric Carr, something that still weighs heavy in all of our thoughts. What adjustments did you have to make, both personally and professionally, for a smooth transition into this band?
Well, I mean, when I did the record, I kind of came in like just hired gun, like to do the record, because Eric was still ill. So I had no idea that I was going to end up, you know, being asked to join the band. So I just approached it. You know, I took it seriously because it was an honor for me to be able to, you know, I've always been a Kiss fan my whole life, and it was an honor for me to get to do a record with them. And then when they asked me to join the band, you know, it was really exciting, and so I feel glad to be a part of the whole, you know, this Revenge thing. And you know, like Paul said, it's, you know, it's like a rebirth, and for me, it's kind of a fresh start too, because for once, I feel like a part of a band and part of something that I've, you know, haven't had a chance to do before. You know, I've kind of hopped around, but you know, never really had a home, and now I feel like I got a home.
With Revenge, you've had a reunion of sorts with producer Bob Ezrin.
Yeah, yeah.
Why Bob?
Because he's Canadian, of course.
That's right, he's from Toronto. He's
Canadian content we needed. Bob's great, you know. Bob did arguably one of our greatest albums, which was Destroyer, and an album that's really stood the test of time. But it was great with Bob because we said in no uncertain terms we were going to make a Kiss album, and a no-compromise Kiss album that wouldn't harken back to the old stuff in terms of the sound as much as the fury and the belief in what we were doing. And Bob was very much in agreement with that, and then it was just a matter of, we said, let's get together in 3 months, start playing songs, see if we have anything. And it took about 50 songs before we had an album. And if everybody didn't like the songs, we ditched them and went back to square one. And what made the album so great is that everybody in the band put their best into it, and nobody was concerned with, in rehearsals, coming up with a part that made them look good. Everybody was concerned with coming up with parts that made the band look good. And that's when Kiss is at our best, is when everybody is throwing everything in to make the band look good.